Here you see on the left-hand side of your screen the Baton Rouge Police Department, the Louisiana State Police, and the governor all gathering around a podium. They are set to speak and give a press conference and an update in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on the loss of 3 police officers and an update on the investigation. On the right-hand side of your screen, the White House also getting set to address the nation. Let's go ahead and listen to Governor John Bel Edwards and the Louisiana State Police.
We have available now. Following the colonel will be East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff Sid Gautreaux to speak to his deputies that were lost today, followed by Baton Rouge Police Chief Carl Dabadie, who will speak to his officers that we lost today, followed by U.S. Attorney Walt Green, who will give a comment on the federal perspective, followed by remarks by Baton Rouge Mayor Kip Holden and our Governor John Bel Edwards. We will not be taking questions at the end. We're going to provide you everything that we know up to this point. So the briefing will conclude with Governor Edwards' remarks. Thank you.
First of all, thank you all for being here. I'm Colonel Mike Edmondson, Superintendent of Louisiana State Police. First of all, let me tell you something. We're getting phone calls from around the nation, around the world. We want and need your prayers. Baton Rouge is in need of those prayers right now, so we thank you for those, and we want you to know that we appreciate every single one of them going on at the time. We're not going to take questions into this because it is an active, it is an ongoing investigation that's got a lot of moving parts right now with multiple agencies. Louisiana State Police is the lead agency as with regard to the investigation itself. We'll be working very, very closely with East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office and the Baton Rouge Police Department from a local perspective. And then we'll be joined from all our federal partners as we work the many, many leads that's taking place right now. We're going to give you a 1-800 number for the public to have as we move forward. Let me make something clear right now. You're getting a lot of information. You're interviewing a lot of people. If it does not come from myself, the Chief of Police, Carl Dabadie, or the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff, Sid Gautreaux, if it does not come from these individuals, we cannot confirm it as being factual. So just know that up front. We're going to have another press conference tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. 1 p.m. tomorrow. We'll give you a complete update as we have it at that time, but we want to allow our detectives and all our investigators, the crime scene, it's a very large crime scene. We're going to tell people in the Baton Rouge area, if you do not need to be, absolutely need to be in that area of Airline Highway and Old Hammond Highway, please stay out of that area because we're going to be working that throughout the evening, throughout the night as we work in that specifics. Please also know that there is not an active shooter scenario in Baton Rouge. No active scenario that involves a shooter in the city of Baton Rouge. We do believe, based on the information that we have, and again, this is ongoing, we believe that the person that shot and killed our officers, that he is the person that was shot and killed at the scene. So that's what we know right now. We do not believe or do we have any other shooter held up in any other area in the Baton Rouge area, but understand this investigation has got a lot of moving parts and pieces. We'll be moving and going on each one of those, but right now there's no active shooter scenario going on in Baton Rouge. I'll tell you this, I'm going to read it because I want to make sure you get the information so you'll have it as accurate. Today at approximately 8:40 a.m., several Louisiana law enforcement officers were shot near Airline Highway and Old Hammond Highway. A call came into Central Dispatch of the Baton Rouge City Police Department saying that there was a guy carrying a weapon, carrying a rifle, walking in that particular area at Airline and Goodwood. That was the information that came into us. Multiple officers were transported to local hospitals for treatment. I'll tell you that 3 officers have died from injuries, 2 from the Baton Rouge Police Department, and 1 from the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office. 1 East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputy is in critical condition, just got out of surgery a short time ago. The sheriff and the chief are going to speak on those. 2 additional officers suffered non-life-threatening wounds. They are in stable condition at the hospital now. At approximately 8:40 a.m., Baton Rouge PD officers at the convenience store observed the individual. He was wearing all black, standing behind a beauty supply store, holding a rifle. At approximately 8:42 a.m., reports received of shots fired. At approximately 8:44 a.m., reports received of officers down on the scene. At 8:45, reports received of more shots being fired. At 8:46 a.m., reports were received of the suspect again, that was wearing all black, standing near a car wash located right next to the convenience store. At 8:48, our emergency EMS unit started arriving at the scene. They were staging so they could start approaching and getting the bodies that were at the scene to render first aid. Officers engaged the subject at that particular time, and he ultimately died at the scene. That was officers that were responding to the scene itself. State police and multiple agencies responded to the scene in an attempt to secure the area and identify possible potential suspects and further threats in the area. We in law enforcement ask the public, look, stay vigilant. We want you that if you see something that is suspicious, and you know what's suspicious and out of the ordinary in your particular area, call your local police department. You know that number, call that particular number. If you need one from us, and we ask that if you see suspicious activity and you don't contact your local police department, call the following number. It is 1-800-CALL-FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI. It's 1-800-225-5324. 1-800-225-5324. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Again, we do not have an active shooter scenario in the city of Baton Rouge. We are working the investigation. It's going to take us in multiple directions. A lot of leads out there we're following on. You can help us as the public. If you see something out of the ordinary, please call us. And again, we'll have a 1 p.m. press conference tomorrow afternoon, and we'll completely update you on anything that's going on with this.
Sheriff.
Thank you, Colonel. As the Colonel has just stated, we've had 6 officers that were shot today in East Baton Rouge Parish, 3 of which are Baton Rouge City police officers, 2 of which are deceased. 1 is still alive, and Chief Dabadie will speak to those individuals in a minute. We've had 3 East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputies that were shot. 1 that is deceased, 45-year-old. 1 is in critical condition, fighting for his life as we speak, 41-year-old. And 1 had non-life-threatening injuries. He's in surgery now. He's 51-year-old. Each one of these individuals married. Each one of these individuals have family. We're grieving as a law enforcement community. We're grieving for each other. We're grieving for our loss, and we're grieving for our families. And we ask for your prayers. Not only for us, like I say, for the deputies, but the families and the co-workers. As law enforcement, we are a family, and we stand here together, as you can see. But our number 1 priority is the safety of our community, the safety of the people that live here, the safety of law enforcement. We've activated the Louisiana Sheriff's Association Task Force, and as you can see behind me, several of my fellow sheriffs are here. And we want to assure you that we are having a coordinated effort that is going forward to ensure that we continue to provide the services necessary to protect the citizens of this parish. With God's help, we will get through this. To me, this is not so much about gun control as it is about what's in men's hearts. And until we come together as a nation, as a people, to heal as a people, if we don't do that and this madness continues, we will surely perish as a people. So I would just ask for your prayers and your support for all of the families of those that are involved here today, and continue to pray for this parish, this city, this state, and this nation.
It's with a heavy heart that I stand here today. As the others have said, we've had 6 officers shot today. 3 of those officers would be RPD officers. 2 were killed in the line of duty. 1 is 41 years old and has just under a year of service. The other is 32 years old with 10 years of service. Our 1 non-life-threatening injury officer was 41 years old, and he has 9 years of service. We would ask that for prayers from this community, for our officers, for our families, for the families that have been affected by today's senseless shootings that went on this morning. Prayers for all law enforcement, not just BRPD, but for all of us. As the sheriff and the colonel have said, we stand united, and this is a united front. Make no mistake about that. This is very united. Public safety remains our priority, and we will continue to do our job in the light of what's happened. We have several agencies from outside that are coming in to lend support and help. Our officers have been depleted for the last 12, 14 days. So there's other agencies who are coming in to help us and back us up. And that is for this community's safety. As the sheriff said, we've activated the Sheriff's Task Force, and it is a coordinated effort going forward. We'll get through this as a family. We'll get through this as a community. But I want all of the BRPD officers to know that I support you. Every single one of them, I stand with you, I stand beside you, and we are going to get through this, and we're going to get through this together. This is not going to tarnish this city or this department. We're going to move forward. Thank you.
This is indeed a tragic day for the city of Baton Rouge. On behalf of the Attorney General of the United States and myself, I want to offer my condolences to the family as well as the officers that were involved in this shooting. I can promise you, with the backing of the Department of Justice and the Attorney General, all federal law enforcement assets that are needed will be given to this investigation. We will go wherever it takes us to conclude this investigation. I would tell you that our continued support with federal, state, and local law enforcement in this matter has been great. We have agents from the ATF, the FBI, as well as the United States Marshal Service, as well as people in my office currently assisting with the investigation, and we will continue to do so until justice is served. Thank you.
Let me tell you what, this is truly a sad day in Baton Rouge as we now meet again behind senseless killings. We continue to ask the question and continue to make the statement, let peace prevail in Baton Rouge and this parish. We must look ahead. The president has acknowledged this violence and will reiterate those things in about, I think, around 3:30 our time. But again, the people that you see here today, let me say unequivocally, the president has responded to the needs of Baton Rouge. Not only that, the agencies you see here have always been partners with the state police, the sheriff's office, and the city police. We are one family, all seeking justice for all of our people. And so let me thank the president and also Ms. Jarrett for their calls, and the governor will elaborate on the call he got also from the president. But we must say that we ask you now for your prayers. We also pray for those who were killed or injured today in the incident. We want you to pray for their families and be with them not only today, but in the future. They are our first responders. Now we pledge to them and their families that we will be their first responders. We must strive every day to be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We thank our officers who have fallen in the line of duty. We pray for their families. We pray for peace everywhere. God bless you.
Well, today has been a very tough day here in Baton Rouge and in Louisiana and in our country. An absolutely unspeakable, heinous attack on law enforcement here in Baton Rouge claimed the lives of 2 Baton Rouge police officers, 1 sheriff's deputy, and injured 3 others, one of whom today, right now as we speak, is absolutely fighting for his life. It's unjustified, it's unjustifiable. The violence, the hatred just has to stop. And it's at times like this I wish the command of the English language that I have were more adequate to the task to convey the full range of emotions that I am feeling and to express them on behalf of the state of Louisiana. Earlier today, I, along with Mayor Holden and the law enforcement community here, gathered with the family members of the victims at the hospital. And when I tell you unspeakable tragedy, it's unspeakable. That these men, risking their lives to protect and serve this community, were taken out the way that they were. They are real-life, everyday heroes. As you've been told by Colonel Edmondson, this is an ongoing investigation. There are a lot of moving parts, multiple agencies. I want to reassure everyone here in Baton Rouge and around the state that we are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that everyone is protected. Every resource is going to be available to be used to bring these perpetrators, if there's more than one, to justice. And obviously it means federal, state, and local. You just heard from the U.S. Attorney from here in the Middle District in Baton Rouge, but we're being aided by the FBI, the ATF agencies as well. But I also spoke with the President of the United States a couple of hours ago, who called to express on behalf of himself and the First Lady, but also the people of the United States, their condolences, their best wishes, obviously, for those who were injured for a full and speedy recovery, but also their prayers for the people here in Baton Rouge and around the country. We have to do better. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. And the people who carried out this act, the individuals, they do not represent the people of Baton Rouge or the state of Louisiana or what's best about our country. They don't represent the values we stand for. Obviously, our community is hurting, and only through peace and unity can we heal. And that's going to take constructive dialogue. There simply is no place for more violence. That doesn't help anyone. It doesn't further the conversation. It doesn't address any injustice, perceived or real. It is just an injustice in and of itself. And we are not going to tolerate more hate and violence tearing apart the communities and families of Louisiana. So as I did just a few days ago, I'm inviting the people around the country to join their prayers to mine, that our nation, that our community here can heal, that we can get past this, and certainly pray for the recovery of those officers who were injured today, but pray for all of their officers, all of our officers here in Baton Rouge and around the state and around the country, and their family members who every day expose themselves to great risk of harm simply so they can protect and serve as they have sworn to do. As you were told by Colonel Edmondson, we are not going to take questions at this point. There will be another briefing, press briefing tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we will then update you all with any additional information that we gather between now and then. So I want to thank you for covering this press conference, and again, ask everyone to join with the folks of Louisiana in solidarity so that as a nation we can heal, we can get past this, and we can be what we're supposed to be in the United States of America, because we're not there today. God bless you.
1 o'clock tomorrow, we'll have a briefing. Anything significant happens before then, we'll make sure you're notified of it, but please stay with us on that. Thank you all very much for being here.